Hi, today is day 2 of Swing Fit Golf. Today we are going to use a rolled up towel, or if your wife has an exercise ball, that could be used. Either or. We're going to start with a few rounds of breath and then lying down and start a set of abdominal work to get going. So sitting up nice and tall, you can bend through those knees if you need to keep those toes up. Sit up nice and tall in those sits bones. Take a deep breath in through that nose. Let your rib cage expand wide and fill up like a balloon, and then exhale through your mouth. Another deep breath in, pull that navel in through that nose, and exhale through that mouth. One more deep breath in, and exhale. We're going to carefully roll on down, curving through that back, one vertebra at a time, lying all the way on down. Okay, so just lying down, we have a nice neutral spine to start. So neutral spine is where a small pocket of air is under your low back. Your shoulders are heavy, your hips are heavy. So when I say neutral, that's what you want to do. When I say imprint, you're tilting your pelvis towards that ceiling and pressing your spine into that mat. So we're going to go to that imprint now. So press that navel in, draw that rib cage in. You can keep your legs down, but if you want more of a challenge, draw your legs up to tabletop. We're going to do a set of hundreds here. So you're going to draw your wrists over shoulders. You can keep your head down, or you can scoop up into a chest lift. On your inhale, exhale, draw those arms down and start moving those arms through a 6-inch range of motion while you take a 5-count breath in through the nose and an exhale for 5 counts out through the mouth. And I'll start counting. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you're pressing that navel to spine. The movements from the shoulders, the arms are strong. You should feel those biceps and triceps contracting and working. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep on going. Maybe you progress to tabletop legs like mine are, if they were on the ground. Maybe you progress to a chest lift. And if you're already in both, maybe you progress legs out to straight. 2 more sets. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last set. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower down, hug your knees in. Let's stir them in one direction and then stir them. Good for the low back in the other direction. Okay, nice job. Okay, so now we are lying down on that mat. We're gonna spread our legs apart and externally rotate our feet, toes, hips a little wider opened here. Holding this, we're in a nice neutral spine. We're gonna take a few pelvic rocks. So when you rock your pelvis, hips stay connected, you're imprinting your spine and creating a pocket of air under that low back. You think about, so keep doing that, imprint and rock it forward. So you're tilting the pelvis towards the ceiling, you feel those abdominals engage, and then you release it. So this is really good for the low back if you have any low back pain, but obviously if you're doing this and it doesn't feel great for your low back, decrease the amount you're doing, or you can just kind of move a little bit. So this is always good to do to warm up before we go into bridging. Okay, take one more in each direction and then pause. Small pocket of air under that low back. Arms down at your side, press your palms into that mat. You're gonna pull that navel in towards your spine. So suck it in, try to draw that rib cage in. You're gonna tilt that pelvis forward to imprint your spine, and you're gonna roll up one vertebra at a time into a bridge. Now we're holding bridge. The bridge position that we're in a wide external rotation with our legs and our feet. We want to make sure we're squeezing those glutes together like we're holding something between those glutes. We're pulling that navel in. You're keeping that imprinted spine so you're not arching through that low back, and your shoulder blades are connected to the mat. So that is where you want to go for bridge. Take that inhale, exhale, and melt, if this feels okay, one vertebra at a time, all the way on down with your hips being the last to touch. If spinal articulation, here we go again. If spinal articulation does not feel good for your back, keep your back flatter as you raise up your hips into a bridge. Engage those glutes, and then exhale and bring it back on down. We're gonna take a couple more like that, and then we're gonna add a little bit of some hip mobility. So we're squeezing through those glutes. Feet are nice and flat, pressing those hands into that mat, and slowly rolling one vertebra at a time back on down. And again, so we're working glutes, we're working hamstrings, we're working core, pulling that navel in, squeezing those glutes, and then slowly rolling it down, warming up the spine through some flexion. This time we're on the ground, hold it. You're gonna take one leg and rotate it in, getting a little hip stretch, and try to keep that other leg in place as much as you can, and bring it back. Then the other leg in, getting a little hip stretch, and bringing it in. So trying to stretch and rotate that outside of that hip. You can feel a pull through those obliques. Try to keep your hip is gonna lift, obviously, but try not to let it roll too much to one side because we wanna get that stretch. Keep that navel pressed in to protect that low back. I am in neutral, so no imprint spine here. Taking a couple more. And then bring it back. And again, we're gonna roll up into bridge and add on now. So tuck that navel, imprint that spine, roll it up into your bridge position, holding that bridge position. Now, we're gonna drop that right hip down, just tilting your hips. So one hip is higher, one hip is lower, squeeze through that right glute to lift it back up. Then you're tilting that left hip down, squeezing it up. So it's just a side to side hip dip. Holding it here, really push through that glute of the leg that is dropping the hip and then bring it back up. Continuing here. If you want more of a challenge, you can bring those arms up to wrists over shoulders and palms facing you and just alternating side to side, holding it here, working those glutes and hamstrings, breathing through. Nice job. Let's take 4 more. And 3. And 2. And last one. Hold it up, squeeze through those glutes, pull that navel in, take that breath, and slowly roll it down one vertebra at a time. And again, we're gonna go up for one more variation. So tuck that tummy, tilt that pelvis to imprint, reach from the bottom, one vertebra at a time, all the way up, holding it up. So still, if your hands were not over shoulders, bring them up now, face your palms away. We're gonna drop those hips down about halfway, squeeze them up. And when we drop them down halfway, I have to think of my motion here. Oh yeah. So you're gonna press your hips up, bring your arms down, and then bring your wrists over shoulders as you drop your hips down. So let's continue this. Here we go. For 10, 9. Try not to lose that. We don't wanna arch through the back as we move through this. Holding it here, almost done. For 5. Keep that tummy tucked. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up and slowly melt from the top of your back all the way on down one vertebra at a time. Whew. Lengthen out those legs. Point and flex through those feet a few times. Bring those knees in. We're going to extend one leg at a time up to 90, followed by the other. Pull behind those hamstring or legs, point and flex through those feet a few times. Reaching, maybe come into a chest lift to really feel that stretch. Holding it there. Flex, point, and lower it on down. Okay, so now we're gonna go into some leg circles. So we're gonna bring one leg to tabletop. The other leg is bent, flat foot on the mat, or leg long and foot flexed. Harder to have leg long and foot flexed. You can stay right here, and this is where I will stay, and then we'll progress. So you're gonna draw a circle with your knee. You're gonna bring your knee across the midline of your body, keeping your knee bent, bringing it down and around, out wide, and bring it back through center. Continuing that movement. So while we do this, try not to rock those hips side to side. As your leg circles, you are gonna get a little movement on the opposite side of your body, of your hip, but think about keeping that navel pressed. You're in a nice neutral spine. Keep that navel pressed. If you have the flexibility, extend that leg to straight. Continue circles in the same direction. Your range of your circle is up to you, but we don't wanna be rocking too much with those hips side to side. We're trying to keep them heavy and anchored as much as possible. Pointing those toes if you can, really reaching and stretching, taking a couple more circles in this direction. And last circle in this direction. Bring it back through center. Now let's bend through that leg and give it a little rest. We're gonna go wide, down and around, and back through center. Just a few like that, or you can stay like this. This is what works for you to get that hip mobility going. If you can extend it to straight, reach it up, continuing going wide, down and around, across the midline and back through center. Holding this here. Should feel good on those hamstrings, really reaching and stretching. Working those hips for a few more. For 3, 2, have that core engaged. Last one. Bring it back through center, bend through that leg, and place it on down. Now, again, keeping a leg bent, bring the other leg to table or lengthening it out, whatever works for you. We're gonna circle it. Keeping that knee bent, keeping that tummy tucked, keeping those hands pressed into that mat. If you have it available, lengthen that leg, continue circling in that same direction. The leg that's on the mat is activated, so nice and flexed. If it's straight, holding it down there. For 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back through center. Again, bend through that leg, bring it wide, down and around, and across that midline. So everybody, I mean, if you have some clicking in your hips, it's not necessarily a bad thing, as long as it doesn't hurt. But maybe you don't go as wide with that circle if that really is bothersome, or you keep that slight bend. Holding it here for a few more. For 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in and lower it down, lengthening through that body, reaching and stretching. And then we're gonna roll on over to all fours, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. We're gonna tuck those toes, hike your hips up to a down dog, hold down dog for a breath or 2, keep those heels pressed. Use your hands to press your upper body towards your legs, holding that stretch. Take a breath. And then bring it, walk your hands to your feet, shifting that weight to your ankles, round through that spine, and come up nice and tall. Okay, we're coming to the wall. You do need to find a wall here. No prop needed. We are going to lower ourselves down into a wall sit, okay? So your knees are a 90-degree bend, your arms, your shoulder blades, your hips are pressed up against that wall. We're gonna draw our arms out to a goalpost arm, so palms facing away, 90-degree bend. And we're just gonna lift and lower those arms. Holding this position. Now maybe you don't get your arms as high. Keep that tummy tucked. We're strengthening those quads. We're strengthening those shoulders, that upper back, keeping everything attached to that wall. The hands obviously, or the arms aren't fully connected as on the way up, but keep your head connected. Let's finish this up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Let's lengthen those arms out, palms still facing away. We're gonna reach one arm and twist that upper body and bring it back. And reach the other arm, twist. So you're not gonna really be able to connect the arms, but the goal is to get a good twist and stretch from the waist up of your body. So feeling that stretch, feeling those obliques work, keep that tummy tucked. I still have my hips connected. I still have one shoulder blade connected as I'm twisting and stretching. Holding it here. Your gaze follows the hand. Nice job. For 6, 5, 4, 3, really try to squeeze those arms together. 2, last one, and bring it back and slide yourself on up, shake out through those legs. We have one more thing here that I'd like to do. So everybody come back to your mat. You're gonna stack your legs one on top of the other with those knees bent. Have your arm out. We're gonna take some lateral flexion here. So bringing that one arm out to the side, you're gonna take a deep breath, reach. You can bend through that elbow of the arm on the mat and press yourself back up. Make sure you're keeping that tummy tucked, bicep by the ear, and using that arm and obliques to lift yourself back up. Taking a few more here. Keep that navel pressed to spine to protect that low back. Couple more. Nice job holding it up. Okay, so this arm we're holding up. We're gonna press our hips up and off the mat, squeezing through those glutes and those thighs and the belly, and then bringing it back down. Here we go. We're gonna lift and lower, lift and lower, squeezing this. And then we're gonna add on here. So when you bring it up, we're gonna lift and open up through that top leg, reconnect and bring it down. Open it up and lift. Keep that tummy tucked. Squeeze through those glutes. Lift that hip and lift that leg. Holding it here. That bottom leg is staying attached, that upper arm. If you need to bring it on your hip, you can do that. Nice job. Make sure you're feeling it through that outside glute as you lift that leg up. Holding this. Let's hold it up on this next one and let's open and close that top leg. Getting those side glutes, side hip. Keep that tummy tucked. We're in a modified side plank. Breathing here. Nice job. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and bring it down and in. Switch over to side 2. Last move here. So when you're ready, we're stacking on the other side. We're stretching and pressing. So reaching over and pressing that arm up to help lift yourself up. Keeping that tummy tucked. You need to spread those legs further away for a little bit more range of motion here. Do that. Use those obliques to make that muscle-mind connection to lift yourself back up for 3 and 2 and 1. Press it up, and now we do the hip lifts. So up and down. Again, thinking about squeezing everything together. Your inner thighs, your glutes, your belly button to spine. Keep that rib cage pressed together so it's not flaring. Holding it here. And the movement is coming from the hips, the glutes, and the abdominals. The arm is just there for support. Holding this here. Now we open up the leg and bring it down. Open it up and bring it down. Keeping that arm in place, or you can place it on your hip. Holding this. Almost done. Now let's hold it up and just finish this up for 10, 9, 8. Try to get that thigh back. 6. Keep that tummy tucked. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in, bring it down. Nice job. If you want to take a little stretch before wrapping this up, you can lie on down. You can place one leg over the opposite thigh, pull behind that hamstring and stretch it to get that side glute stretch, that hamstring too. Hold it here for a few seconds. Really trying to stay. This is really tough to keep this to 15 minutes. I feel like it's worth it, right? Holding this. And then if you want to just take a bonus roll up, come in and out of that. You're all set. I never used the ball like I said I thought I would, so sorry about that. Have a great night.